New here at 6 o'clock. As we talked about earlier, terror strikes again today. 2 people killed and several others hurt inside a St. Louis high school. The fear of the worst imaginable ripping through yet another community. Now, earlier this month, that same fear was felt throughout South Carolina. More than a dozen active shooter calls spread throughout the state and especially in the Upstate. All of the calls were fake, but the response of these deputies and officers was as real as ever.
You know, we had to treat it like the real thing, and of course the officers that responded believed that it was a real situation until they basically cleared every hallway, every classroom.
Now, as we watch these officers respond, it's hard to fully understand exactly what goes into preparing for those situations. Well, now we get an unfiltered look into that training in Anderson County, and we do want to advise you that what you're about to see may be disturbing, but it's reality for these deputies as they make sure that they're ready for the worst case scenarios.
Get out!
If we don't give you the chaos now.
Shoot us down! Shoot us down!
In real life, when you see the chaos, you may react poorly to it. It's called stress inoculation. If we can introduce that stress, we can introduce that chaos to you now in a controlled, safe environment, we can train you what your reaction should be, the proper reaction.
Where's he at? Where's he at?
And so you become trained to react to that chaos properly.
This training you see here,
Hey, what about those people over there?
hopefully never has to be used. But when crisis calls, this is what every Anderson County deputy depends on. Lieutenant Todd Owens saw it unfold firsthand. Fake active shooter calls spread throughout the state earlier this month. He was among the many deputies who responded to a school that day, his weapon drawn, treating the call like it was the real thing.
It was stressful, but I felt confident in what we've done here training-wise, that we all were doing it correctly.
His job is to oversee that training.
We try to take and give you the tools you need in little steps.
Drop the gun! Do it now! Drop the gun!
Lieutenant Owens adds one way to think of it: trainees have to walk before they can run. And step 1, a state-of-the-art 300-degree virtual simulator with 60,000 variants to recreate real-life situations to make them as real as possible.
We can give you the noise of it. We can give you the sights of it. And we can give you your reactions in a controlled, safe environment.
When the focus is on active shooters, the settings can vary from a movie theater, a resort, and especially a school. So whether recruits have been training for months, or if you've never been through anything like this before,
Look around, look around.
the sheriff's office wants all to feel the intensity first before taking step 2.
Your heart rate's already elevated, you're excited. Then we take those lessons and we bring them over here to our crisis house. There you go.
The crisis house is all about putting what's seen in the simulator into motion.
We have you do it physically. We have you physically run, physically move, physically open doors, clear hallways, hold your gun up and down correctly, make decisions.
Every deputy is trained to have one objective in mind.
Wherever the threat is, you're driving to the sound of that threat, getting in there to eliminate it as soon as possible.
All staff, ready, initiate lockdown procedures.
And when the training is taken to step 3,
Go!
that's when every detail of the devastation and chaos is recreated.
We use live role players and we use simulated gore and things of that nature. We introduce sounds such as fire alarms. We introduce children, where children are running around, screaming, being chaotic, to recreate what it would be like in a real situation.
The role players are told to scream and call for help. The deputies have to run past them to accomplish that single objective: find the threat, stop the killer. Lieutenant Owens knows this is all hard to watch and harder to do, but it's critical in times of crisis, and he hopes in some way there comes some comfort.
We are doing everything in our power to make every Anderson County deputy as prepared as possible to deal with worst case scenarios effectively and safely. And that's because we have children that go to school in Anderson counties. and it's just not schools. And so wherever you are, we want people to know that our deputies are as best prepared as we can possibly make them to any situation of that kind.